How you going? How's everybody doing with the lockdown stuff and with COVID in general where you are? I'd hope to make this a short, but I can't pack all this in 1 minute. You might hear my apprentice in the background. She's off the rails at the moment, so that's why I'm out in the workshop to film this. All right, so in the rural parts of Victoria where I'm at, lockdown has been eased, but not really eased. So, like, we're allowed to leave our house for whatever reason we want. We still can't go and visit family and friends and stuff like that, not in their own house. And public gatherings are kept at like 10. You've got to wear masks. So it's sort of lockdown, but not really lockdown. And with the numbers, I'm swearing at the screen every morning looking at the numbers of COVIDs rising at an increasing exponent. Although today they have leveled a bit, although my experience says they're going to level for a couple of days and shoot up again. It's certainly got out of hand, especially in Sydney, but in Melbourne it's starting to take off too, which is concerning. Again, I'm not going to delve into that conversation. It's just too hot for so many people at the moment. All right, so I'm planning a little bit of a getaway, a legitimate sanctioned getaway for a couple of days, but that does, with COVID and everything, and normally requires quite a bit of preparation so that we can do this properly. And I'm going to be knackered for about a week afterwards, so there might be a gap in videos to see how I can go with that. But yeah, it's pretty much the only way we can sort of legally catch up with my closest family, who are actually technically my support network. It's just my folks, basically. And we've been, there's a term with lockdown called bubble buddies that gets thrown around a bit, but people that are in that close social group that make regular contact, and I don't actually socialize. I don't go to pubs, I don't go to clubs, I don't get out with big groups of friends. These are the only people I really see in person. Maybe Tinkerman Mick, but by the time the stars align with that, it's usually once every 6 months we actually get to see each other in person, more with lockdown. I think it's been over a year since I've had a chance to actually see him for more than maybe half an hour at a time. So yeah, it's exhausting times and stressful, and I'm looking at all the social groups that I talk to online and all the whatnot. The stress is getting to everybody. I can certainly understand that. Regardless of what your opinion is on the whole situation, it's no doubt stressful. And it is a bit for me. So, stress for me can have some very real physical effects. Well, it can for anybody, but for me especially so, having an autoimmune disorder. So I have to try very carefully to maintain that. So, yeah, hopefully I'll get 3 or 4 days out with a little bit of a bit of social distancing as well. We're going to probably hopefully get out on the beach and away from people. I've got a few ways to do that. So we're going to try and be responsible about that. It is sort of flu season, so even if you're not a subscriber to the COVID or die concept, I still don't want to get the flu. And to be honest, this YouTube channel is actually kind of atypical for me, because I generally don't like being public and dealing with people and being social. So I'm doing pretty well to hide behind a camera to do it. I pretty much blame my brother for that. I'll go into details about that in another video. Yeah, so I'm just wandering up and down my shed at the moment. I think that's pretty well all my mental notes for the moment for what's going on. I've been kind of under pressure to try and perform. There's a lot of repairs I've got to do. Yeah, this is one thing with YouTube. There is a particular sense of pressure to try and perform and continue to put regular stuff out, but there's sometimes I just can't do it. So you're getting this video instead tonight rather than a repair video. Yeah, so it's yeah, I don't know where else to continue with this. I've kind of hit a mental blank, which is another thing that happens with MS, because I have some brain lesions as a result of that too. And since I've had those brain lesions, there are some weird, quirky things that happen. One that is becoming more prominent over time is I'll be mid-sentence and I just lose the entire conversation, all the memory of it, everything just drops. And I have to build myself back up from the start again. and take verbal cues. My family's really good at helping me out with that, particularly my wife as well. They'll give me the last few things that they remember, and usually I can pick up fairly close to where I left off. But I am fairly adept at covering that up. And there's also some Tourette's-like syndromes that I'm also fairly good at covering up. But underneath it all, it's a pretty scary thing to happen. So it happens more so when I get stressed and pressured and overrun. So yeah, so we're going to try our best to try and comply with everything that we're required to do, but also get a bit of stress relief. And I don't feel guilty for taking a bit of self-care time, but at the same time, my heart goes out to those of you who can't do this. I would certainly bring you all along if I could. But here's hoping we get through it, and hoping that these numbers leveling out are going to be a continued thing, and it's going to start dropping back down. So yeah, not much more I can say. But yes, I am certainly not insensitive to other people's troubles at the moment. I really wish there was something I could do about it all. But anyway, for the moment, this is my little bit of refuge out here, while my apprentice burns off some energy before we can get her to sleep. 3 more days before the end of term, and the poor kid, she has had such an interrupted school run, and we're trying our best to teach her new stuff at home. As you would have seen from the short the other day, with breaking the surface tension, we've been making soap and working with colors and all those different science concepts I can teach her. But yeah, she certainly needs a break as well. There will be probably a lot of shorts for the next week or so, because the laptop I'm going to take with me is nowhere near as powerful as the Ryzen 9 59. What is it? Oh, I've even forgot. That's where the brain just dropped out. I've completely forgotten the type of CPU I've got in my machine. Yeah, anyway, 16 core, 32 thread. That's what I remember. Anyway, the laptop I've got is nowhere near as fast as that. All I can really muster is probably some 1080p shorts until I get back and do the big stuff. So I'll try and keep you a bit happy. I've got community tab now, thanks to having more than 1,000 subscribers. So I'll be able to put a few pictures up maybe as well, and a bit of a blurb, and hopefully it'll help you guys feel a little less isolated. So anyway, that's about it for now. I know it's an old talking one, but you guys seem to like these for some reason. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one, and hopefully it's less talking and more interesting stuff. Stay safe, guys.